Welcome to From the Den podcast, providing Bears and NFL fans alike with compelling news, discussion, and debate. I'm your co-host Benjamin, joined alongside my dear friend and co-host Oren.
Hey Benjamin, let's get right into it. As always, kickoff starts now.
So on the topic of Akiem Hicks' injury, when he was injured, the main guy that stepped in and played for him was, I would say, Roy Robertson-Harris, yeah? Yeah. So now that Akiem Hicks will be in and healthy, do you anticipate that he will have a decline just simply because he will likely get less playing time, or will he actually take the next step this season and be even better than he was last year? So you can evaluate his performance last year and go on to explain what you anticipate will happen with Roy Robertson-Harris this year.
So I'm going to go back to Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is a player who I believe might become even better next year, but statistically will go down and will be worse. And I think that's just because in a Bears offense, in order to be successful, the ball needs to be distributed to multiple players. And last year it wasn't. And I hope this year it goes to Anthony Miller. It goes to Allen Robinson, David Montgomery, Tariq Cohen, Jimmy Graham, Cole Kmet. I hope that all of them get the ball. And obviously if all of them get the ball, either Nick Foles or Trubisky throws 7,000 passing yards, or Allen Robinson will decline statistically. I think the same thing will happen with Roy Robertson-Harris. I think that Akiem Hicks, even though I think he's going to be great in all this, he's still going to need to be subbed out a bit. He's turning 30. He is 30. He's turning 31. He just came off an injury. The Bears want him to be in for not as little as possible.
But just enough that he will not be injured, re-injure himself.
Just enough to not re-injure him, to make sure that he's doing well, and that's where we'll talk about it later. That's where depth comes in. But having Roy Robertson-Harris as a depth piece is very, very helpful, and I think that could end up being a crucial part to this Bears defense. And I think he will take a step up. He came as an undrafted free agent, and every year he's elevated his game. In 2018, he was very good. 2019, he became a bit better, and in 2020, I think he'll become very good. And unfortunately, I think that statistically and how he'll play will overmatch what the Bears can pay him. So I don't think the Bears will end up re-signing him after this offseason.
Well, is it really unfortunate?
Do you
really have the Bears want to have the Bears re-sign him?
I mean, I would like it if they re-signed him. He's a very good depth piece, but I'm not sure they'll be able to. Like Nick Williams, he had a really good year last year, and the Lions signed him to, I think, a 2-year deal worth around $5 or $10 million, which is a solid amount of money. I don't think the Bears would be willing to pay that.
Yeah, I just don't see how Roy Robertson-Harris would fit and have a significant role this year unless a starting defensive lineman gets injured. Like I already said, he came in for Akiem Hicks and was pretty good, but he wasn't amazing enough for the Bears staff to consider having him as a starter. So for that reason, I don't see him having a significant role. And although he's improved every year, this year, even if he does do better, it won't be because he's getting a lot of snaps. He just might be more efficient on the ones that he has. So I don't really have much else to say about him. I don't anticipate a breakout year or anything because he will be getting even less snaps than he did last year and maybe even 2 years before that. I don't really see a reason why he would decline, though, because he's been doing fine. So there's not much else that I can say about him. Just he might be average. He could be a solid piece, but he won't be standout.
I mean, I have to disagree with you. I think that obviously I'm not expecting him to be a standout player, like the best player possible, but I think that he will be an essential part to this defense, not obviously a key.
So you think if he gets injured, it'll be a big deal? It'll affect the defense in a way comparable to Akiem Hicks, even if it's on a lower scale, it'll still have some have a ripple effect.
We're even close to Akiem Hicks,
but will have some ripple effect.
Yes,
it'll affect other players just because there's a lack of depth.
That's why depth is so important, because having depth, like last year, the Bears had a solid amount of depth last year. On the defensive side, on defensive line, they had players who came in and maybe they didn't take Akiem Hicks' role, but they didn't completely make their defense look terrible, because one big hole on defense, especially like that, could change a defense pretty bigly. It could make
significantly.
so yeah, pretty significantly. And I just think that the Bears need good depth, and that's what we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this episode of From the Den, please remember to subscribe, comment, and like this video.
Or if you're a Packers fan, remember to dislike and leave a nasty comment. Click the links on the screen to access additional content.